What's up, guys? Bonafide Hustler here.
College Picker here.
Retro aficionado here.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Green Room Hangout number 26. Today we're going to be talking about the outdoor hustle. It's good to see everyone out there. I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas. I flip stuff I find from garage sales, yard sales, estate sales, flea markets, swap meets, pawn shops, thrift stores, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, Antique Booth, and consignment stores in town. That's what I do. I'm one of the admins in the Green Room. I'll pass it over to College Picker.
What's up, guys? My name's Eric. A lot of people in the resale space know me as College Picker. I reside in my Toyota Prius outside of Starbucks. I flip a lot of electronics, video games, and I put them on places like Amazon, and I also do some vintage clothing on Etsy. I'm a part-time, full-time healthcare worker and also a full-time Green Room admin. Yang.
Nice. Hey guys, my name is Yang. Retro aficionado is my alias. I live in San Jose. No, I live in Santa Clara now because I moved. Keep forgetting that. I live in Santa Clara, California, and like these guys, you know, I sell it all, man. I sell on eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, Antique Booth. I'll probably left some others out, but yeah, that's me.
Okay, so you've met three of the admin staff. We have Mr. Rakin, who is not here right now. I think he is dealing with some bad internet issues, but that's okay. We can handle the show from here. Anyway, we want to make sure that we sound good, so let's go to the sound check right now. And since this is a live show, guys, you can check out over there, maybe over there, but there's going to be a feed that looks like it's scrolling. That's the feed that's going live right now. Now, when this show is not a live show, there won't be a feed like that. It'll just be a comment section below. But if you want to ask a question live or make remarks live, we're talking about outdoor goods today. It should be really cool. I know Yang has some outdoor hustling experience. I know College Picker for sure has some outdoor hustling experience. And myself, we all know that I do as well. So let's go in the feed. Let's see if it sounds pretty good. Hey, CP and Yang, can you guys see the feed too, or no, just me?
I'm trying to pull it up on iPad over here. I'm working on it. I should be getting it up within 30 seconds or so.
Okay. I want to make sure that the sound check is good. What about you, Yang? Yeah? Can you see some feed too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yang will be in the feed here and there. College Picker will be in the feed, you know, if he can. And while I'm looking at the sound check, I do want to bring up how amazing a Toyota Prius is. By the way, I texted College Picker my fill-up today, right? $1.59 a gallon. That's what it is here in Austin, Texas. So that kind of gives you an idea of where our gas prices are. The Prius doesn't take premium. It doesn't take plus. It just takes unleaded. And my Prius had 30 miles to till its tank was empty. And
which is a lie, by the way.
No, it's not a lie. Like
it is a lie.
Okay, anyway, let's just say I had 30 miles till empty. That's what my computer said on the car. Maybe I should get it checked up, but still.
No, we looked at the pump. The pump said you filled 8.5 gallons, and we have a 12-gallon tank. Well, actually 11.9, but whatever. So you had plenty of gallons left to go around and hustle.
I just wanted to say that my fill-up was, okay, even if I had filled up to College
Your
Picker,
fill-up was
like $14. It's crazy. Oh my God. I think the Prius is one of the best sourcing vehicles known to man. If you put a bike rack on the back or maybe on the top, it is such a wonderful sourcing vehicle. Same with Yang's, by the way. So,
dude, you told me I should buy a Prius, and I bought 2 Priuses since then, okay?
Yeah, Prius is amazing.
I give you all the credit in the world.
Yeah,
it's your face would be turning red right now, but it's not because it's black.
Oh, did it like
you're Ninja again. You're just a book cover.
Oh no.
Okay, do we keep losing him?
No, my internet's like, I don't know why it does this with his camera.
It sounds like a hardware problem, not a software problem.
Well, we'll see.
Or an internet problem.
Gas prices up on here real quick. Before we get to the show, let's just look at some of these gas prices. Why not? 164 in Georgia, 169 in wherever Stacy Staggs is. 280 Retro Aficionado?
Yes, sir.
Wow, dude. Okay, 249 Cali. Wow. 169 Florida, 175, 180 in Carolina. Cool. Kroger points filled up for 89 cents a gallon. That's Chevy's in first.
Yes, sir.
Wow, dude. Florida 171, Alabama 149. I heard. Oh yeah, the Prius V is the thrifting machine. You know, I really want to get one of those. That's the van version of what we have. It's not really even a van. It's just a bigger Prius.
I don't even think it's van. I think it's for more of like the voluptuous rump on it.
I think it's just amazing. But I gotta tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with driving a Prius. And people that say, oh, Priuses are slow, they're actually not slow. They're pretty quick cars. So I do love driving mine or my wife's during the week for the most part. And then during the weekend, I get my car back, which is 4Runner, and I like that as well. But I gotta say, I posted you a $14.11 like to College Picker's text message, and I was like, check it out. I love owning a Prius. This is what it cost me to fill up today. And he was like, what? But he already knows what's up. Anyway, $1.49 Ohio. You know what I heard on the news the other day is that somewhere in America it's like 99 cents. I think it's Michigan somewhere in Michigan. So anyway, if my feed freezes up real quick or ever, let me know in the comment feed and I'll just switch back to my normal camera. But maybe it's this camera. I have no idea. Are we good? Am I still moving around? Yes or no? People tell me in the feed.
We're good. I found the feed.
Okay, cool. I have a Prius plug-in, rocks. You know, that's really weird. He has a Prius, I think it's like the E1, where it's like you plug it in, it's all electric. All electric Prius. It's like 10 grand.
It's all electric, but it only has a range of like, I want to say 11 miles, or it's a very, very, very small amount of electric range for an extremely higher markup. I think they're like another
10 grand more. They're about
10 grand.
Yeah,
10 grand more, a $40,000 car instead of a $30,000 car.
Crazy. Chris Durst says 12 miles. Okay.
Okay. I said 11, sorry.
Well, I'm glad we have people telling us their gas prices. But now we get back to the actual program. Today we're going to talk about the outdoor hustle. I have an outline up here that helps me remember like where do we need to go with the show and everything like that. So if we go over something, you want some more clarification on it, or you got a question or something, go ahead and put it in the feed. We'll try our best to get to it. The feed sometimes goes pretty fast. So, okay, let's make a clarification real quick that the outdoor products we're going to be talking about are not team sports related. So what does that kind of mean? Now, if you have an Oshman's or like an academy in your town, that's not the kind of hustling we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about more the like REI, maybe Gander Mountain, Cabela's, like that kind of like more outdoors related stuff, not team sports like football, tennis, baseball, any of that kind of stuff. So I want to make a clarification. The stuff we're going to talk about today is more like camping, hiking, bouldering, rock climbing, snowboarding, skiing, stuff like that, and then lake stuff. So, all right, let's go into the first thing, which is camping. So, you know, I think it's one of those things that I like to look for because you can, in Craigslist, you can, when you're going garage sailing or whatever, you can put camping as one of your filters and just like, I want to look at anything that has camping products. Now, you might be thinking, why would I want to look at camping products? So, Young, why would someone want to even hustle camping products? Is there any money in camping products that you know of?
Yeah, there's great money. They're just expensive in general.
Yeah, camping, really quality.
All equipment.
So expensive. Young hit it totally on the head on that one. And CP, when you think about expensive camping products, what kind of comes to mind immediately on your head? Two things, one thing, what do you think?
What kind of products or like what kind of brands?
Like what kind of products are ready from camping? Like are you looking at what, tents, stoves, like cool?
Yeah, the most expensive thing camping is going to be your house, so it's going to be your tent. And then the next most expensive thing is going to be your bed, which is going to be your sleeping bag and your thermarest or your whatever other insulated ground pad you're going to be using. Okay.
And there's a lot of stuff like other than those two things, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But we're going to start with tents. I believe I did film last week's ride-along. I'm going to edit it tonight. And in that ride-along, you'll see a tent that E-Money and I popped on for like $30. This tent goes for about $170 to about $220 on eBay, a used REI tent. But tents. Let's talk about, first of all, you come to a garage sale or a thrift store, you see the almighty bag, right? It's the dark duffel bag. You know what I'm talking about, right, Young? Mm-hmm. It's a dark-looking duffel bag. If you're lucky, the picture of the tent, the maker of the tent is on the side, right? If you're lucky, right?
If you're lucky.
Right. Now, let's talk about two brands from Young, two brands from CP that immediately should pique your interest when you come up to a tent bag.
Oh, gosh. You know what?
Okay.
You go first, CP. I'm
okay. If you see Ozark Trail, you should be super interested of going the other direction.
Ozark Trail?
Yeah. And I'll supplement that with Greatland as well.
Go the other direction. Not going to happen.
I have another one, Coleman. You probably want to go the other direction on Coleman as well.
Yeah, I'd say Coleman's like above Ozark Trail. Because when I was in Peru, the guide that I was hiking with, he was like, "Oh, Coleman!" Coleman was the greatest thing in the world to this guy, and it's so funny that his perception is so off.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Kelty is good. All right. So if you can find Kelty, I want to say Black Diamond's pretty good too. The ones that are, I mean, pretty decent.
The top of the line is MSR. Yeah. MSR makes the best tents. North Face makes okay tents.
They're pretty good North Face. MSR makes the ones that always make it into like the outdoors magazines and the backpackers guides because they're so light, small, and easy. They make the most popular one today. Actually, there's one that nearly gets built within like 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? It's this like super easy one.
Who makes the Big Hubba? I want to look that up.
Okay, there's Big Agnes as well. That's a pretty good one.
Big Agnes, there's a Hubba Hubba. I think
Yeah.
Hubba Hubba might be.
Hubba Bubba? Isn't that a bubba gum?
Hubba Hubba tent.
Yeah, so Kelty, North Face, Mountain Hardware.
MSR makes a Hubba Hubba, yeah.
Yeah, MSR is good. You're gonna want to look at for sure Big Agnes. Big Agnes makes some like really collectible tents. Eureka's pretty awesome, and then the one that we mess with some with REI Half Dome, and then there's another one that we do as well. So you want to look at those. Those are really good brands. Now, once you open up the bag, you should be seeing, I would say, 4 distinct things in the bag. Okay, 4 distinct things. What do you think? One of the things, Young, you want to at least find one of these 4 things. What are one of the things you want to find?
Spikes.
Huh?
The spikes? That goes
Steaks.
The steaks. Okay, that's like the 5th thing. I mean, you can buy that anywhere. But okay, you want to find.
So actually, a lot of tents these days are so low weight they don't come with stakes because they want you to use sticks on the ground.
Oh God. Okay, so what you want to find the pad, right? The initial pad that the tent usually goes on. Okay. Then there's the tent itself. There's the tent itself. All right. Then there's the fly cover, which is the thing over the tent. Okay, which usually is for rain repelling and wind repelling. Then there's going to be the stakes, or not the stakes, but the poles. The poles and then the stakes. Poles, stakes, okay? It's about 5 things you really need to look for. Everything else can be kind of bought if it's not there, or you can disclose like, yeah, it's not here, these like stake rope things, but these aren't here. But yeah, the fly cover or the canopy is the top thing. So you're going to want to look for those 5 things and really pay attention to rips in the tent if you find them. It's not a deal killer. I think what's a little bit more of a deal killer is like our stake, oh, not stakes, but poles that are crack bent or any of that kind of stuff. Because now that becomes like a special order item, typically from the person that made the tent, or you have to specially order them straight up.
Or do some custom work, which
yeah,
I've done some custom work.
But yeah, you want to make sure that the things break open and they have that springy thing in the middle, like the rubber thing.
Shock cord.
The shock cord, yeah. So those are the things you want to test out. I would look all over the tent. Usually when you're in a garage sale, this is what I do. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't build a tent. I just take a stab. I take a blind stab at it if it's one of those top brands, and I see the stakes, I see the cover, I see the canopy, and I see the canopy, I see the tent, I see the stakes, I see the tent pad, and if I see the poles, I'm buying. Right? If it's like 30 and less, I'm already going to start being really interested. So. My best tent scores to date have been ones that I found at Goodwill. They're like $10 ones, right? $10 North Faces, $10 random ones, Big Agnes ones, easy to sell kind of stuff. The one that we found last weekend was a 6-person REI Half Dome, I want to say, something like that. Pretty good tent. So I already own one actually, so I don't really need it. E-Money doesn't need it either. So that's what we want to let you guys know about with tents. Let's talk about things like coolers. CP, what do you know about coolers?
I want to go back to tents. I got a really quick thing about tents.
Go back to tents.
One of the big things, you want to do a smell test, because if people don't store these things correctly, a lot of the material can break down. There's water repellent chemicals on it, and if this stuff is breaking down and you see it like peeling off like a sunburn, then that is a big bust in the integrity of the tent, and the person buying it would be extremely upset if you didn't disclose that. So
yeah, that is 100% right.
Yeah, do a smell test, look at the integrity of the material. Not just for rips and stuff, but actually like is the nylon sticky? Is it like peeling like sunburn? Because that could be like a huge say like to run away in the other direction. So
okay, cool. We got a lot of people talking about tarps sell good. What's up, Green Room Hustlers? What's going on? Any luck finding down-filled sleeping bags at Goodwill? Ooh, no, I haven't yet.
I have.
Not me. Marmot tents are pretty good. MSR makes the one you're talking about. Coleman Lanterns rock. Okay, so let's go into the next thing, which is like coolers. When it comes to coolers, a lot of the people these days are buying, if you're depending on where you're camping. If you're camping like on the seashore or something, you're gonna need like a basic cooler, nothing crazy. You can get an igloo with wheels, whatever like that. But that's not really the camping we're talking about. Is like in the wilderness kind of camping. You need something tough, sometimes steel belted, sometimes bear proof. that kind of stuff, right? So the number one brand that everyone knows about, and the problem is it's so well known and it's very hard to find a super good deal on it, but if you're scouting Craigslist very actively, you can probably find one. Yeti. This brand is the strongest cooler brand as of right now. There are other ones that like try to compete with it, like Brute, Arctic, a couple others.
Even Igloo or Cooler
They're
or
all
something.
fine.
They
They're
have
all
a knockoff one that's still not a bad cooler. I think it's still 150 or 200 bucks, but it's not
Yeah,
a Yeti.
it's not a Yeti, man. Yeti, I think the closest to Yeti might be a Brute or might be a Pelican, but either way, a Yeti is the best cooler you can probably buy, and it's bear proof. Very easy to spot. Young, have you ever seen a Yeti in the wild? Like, have you ever seen Yetis all over the stores? And you know what I'm talking about?
I know of a Yeti cooler. I have not. I mean, I've seen them in stores, but I've never seen them like out in the field, like garage sales and stuff.
Right. So when it comes to like Yetis, there's a newer brand, right? This is nothing like the steel-belted Colemans or anything like that. If you find a steel-belted Coleman out there in the wild and it's in pretty good condition, even if you open it and it has some cracks, some people repair those kind of things with epoxy and this and that. They're looking for the overall. They like to put those kind of coolers in the back of their, SUVs or open-top Jeeps. Steel-belted Colemans are awesome, so don't forget to pick those up if you can without much rust and with minimal cracking. I would pick those up all day and put them on Craigslist, sometimes even eBay if you can find a box big enough. But if you're dealing with a Yeti, then your market is likely to be local and eBay as well. But Yeti is a very strong brand. They make tumblers. They make the hopper, which is like the bag version of a cooler. It looks like a shopping tote, and it's basically a cooler that can keep ice for days. Or they make their expensive cooler, which is usually called like the Tundra. There's like a Roadie. And they go from sizes all the way from like 20, I want to say, to like over 100 now. So as big as you can get to put a tuna in it, right? Or as small as you want just to put a six-pack when you're mountain biking. They make Yetis in every way possible. The tumblers are real good too, which are the cups, which Young, you know what I'm talking about? The cups that everyone was selling during FBA season. Those
Oh
silver,
yeah.
the Ramblers and the tumblers.
The thermal mugs, yeah.
Yeah, so they make Colsters, Ramblers, Tumblers. Those are all really good products from Yeti. If you can find them mint, obviously. If you can find them used, you're going to get a little bit of money like locally, but for the most part, the game on that's to find them new, put them to FBA. But right now, Yeti just got in stock. I got an email last week on those Ramblers or those Tumblers, those 30-ounce things that everyone was killing it on during FBA. Those things now are back in stock, so people are freaking out, man. If you look at your local Craigslist, you're likely to see people with like 100 of those in stock trying to like dump them on Craigslist because they made a big mistake. So,
Dude, your video is frozen.
okay, that's cool. Thanks for telling me. Let me get that out of the way.
It's just a nice book cover.
What'd you say?
It's just a nice book cover. I mean,
What do you mean?
it goes to your book cover.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Let me let's get out of that thing. Hopefully it's back to normal. Let me make sure.
It's better than mine when mine freezes,
Okay.
which
I
is
think we
just
should be
like
good. This thing hopefully will default out of it. If not, I'm gonna have to get back into this.
a big goofy face.
Quick. Sorry. All kinds of like difficulties today. I don't know what is going on. Maybe it is the camera.
You're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Let's go into some sleeping bag stuff.
Okay. Thank you, peeps. Thank you, Timothy Grapp, Grant Sale, all those people that are helping me out here. Okay. What'd you say? Let's go into what sleeping bags? Let's do it, man. All right. So
Some
yeah, you can head
sleeping
off the
bags.
sleeping bags area. Go ahead. Knock it out.
You guys have never found a down sleeping bag at a thrift shop?
I haven't.
No.
I personally.
I found it.
I found
at other places, yes, but not a thrift store.
I found a disgusting vintage North Face brown label sleeping bag, and I think it had like patch repair on it, and I just like curled up in the store like just to make my friend just start cracking up because it was so like weird that there's feathers flying everywhere, and it still sold for like 80 or 90 bucks on eBay, and it was like absolutely old and trashed.
That's crazy.
So if they look for down sleeping bags are really good. What if you don't go down? I mean, there are other ones that are like extremely. I'm talking like the stuff that belongs on the side of like mountain faces and all that kind of stuff. Those are like sub 40-degree ones, 20-degree ones. There are a lot
If
of
you go
makers of
vintage,
that.
it's got to be down. If you go vintage, it's got to be down. I think anything down will be pretty much score if it still has loft in it and still is like not moldy and just absolutely, it's still salvageable. Or technology for the modern stuff. You have to go with the technology.
Right. The ones that I see that I still have yet to find in the wild, Marmot, some good North Face ones.
Marmot.
And I want to even say Big Agnes makes them too. But either way, sleeping bags, yeah, you want to look for the down. I like to look for the ones with the it's hard to find them, the one with the extremely reflective outside, sometimes inside. You can kind of tell a really good sleeping bag because it'll just be super light, right? And you can compress it down to like fit into a backpack or into like almost like a lunch kit. It's so compressible. So yes, Cody, that's right. So that's what you're looking for. The compressibility of one of these things. You're likely not to ever find one unless you go to like a specialty like dealer demo sale, kind of stuff like that. Because remember, in every town, there's always like account managers, right, for these companies, right? Sometimes and one of the amazing finds that I found the other day was a Sunto watch that came from a dealer demo sale that I went to, and it was like $100. The watch now is up on eBay for like $350 or so, actually like $300. Anyway, so if you go to dealer demo sales, that's a really wonderful place to get amazing goods that sometimes were just on mannequins that were, put to all the outdoor stores in town. Usually there's like an area manager that deals with all these outdoor stores in town, and all the goods get funneled to them. Then they go to the stores, and then they put them on the mannequins, and then they put them in the showcases. They sometimes hold events where they show people how to work the item and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, when the item is replaced with another item, they take those items back, and then they have to have their own kind of like sale, right?
Blowout.
So that's where you can find some of these really amazing sleeping bags for stellar deals. But likely you won't find it at a thrift store or a garage sale, pretty honestly. But okay. Yeah, I know, Cody. That's right. The watch was amazing. It hasn't sold yet, but I just listed it like 2 days ago. So, okay, sleeping pads, CP. What is a sleeping pad for all those people out there that don't know what a sleeping pad is?
When you go camping, like 100% of your body heat is lost through the ground. So you want to insulate yourself with the ground with a sleeping pad, not just so you don't die, but also because it's more comfortable.
Yeah, and you can get sleeping bags in like XL formats, normal formats. You can get them in like 1.5 inch, 2-inch thickness. You can get ones that auto like inflate when you like just roll it out. It starts like inflating itself. You can get ones that are not even inflatable at all. They're just pads, right? Big Agnes makes just roll out pads.
They make a Z pad. Thermarest makes a Z pad where you just like accordion it out and it's ready to go. They also make ones that you unroll. Obviously, the ones that do not inflate are worth a lot less than the ones that are inflatable, and more technology that's involved in designing and manufacturing these things are going to be more valuable.
Yeah. So the two brands I think you should be looking for, guys, is Thermarest and Big Agnes when it comes to those pads. They're pretty decent brands when it comes to that. Sometimes REI as well. But just know that any pad that you mess with, there's only a certain amount of time you can go through the pad and then it starts leaking. They all mysteriously leak one day. Like, just do, man.
XBED is another really good brand out of Washington, I believe. EX-PED. They're on par with Thermarest, and they repaired one that I had gotten at a thrift store that was working, and I had slept on it probably for a couple of years, and then my roommate stepped on the valve, broke it, and then they've repaired it for me with no questions asked. So cool.
That's good, man. So Young, you go camping every now and then, right?
Mm-hmm.
His camping is sleeping in his car.
No,
he actually goes real camping. Like, yeah, I know. Did you
okay.
You use basic tent, right? Or do you do 2-person, 3-person, 1-person? What kind of tent do you roll with?
Well, it depends on how many people go. I think so. Me personally, obviously, you have the backpack. I have the pad. I have a sleeping bag. Obviously, beer. You gotta go up to the mountains with a beer. And whiskey. Let's see, what else?
What kind of pad are you rocking? I'm curious.
What kind of what?
Pad?
Yeah. REI. I have an REI.
You got an REI brand?
Yeah. And the good thing about finding these stuff at garage sales, I mean, like I said, if you buy them retail, they're expensive, and I've been slowly trying to rebuild my inventory up because my ex took all my damn gear. Damn her. So I'm trying to build up my gear again because they're expensive.
There's so much. A decent sleeping bad's going to be $60 to like $120.
Yeah, so I'm slowly building my my inventory back up again.
Okay, so I understand. We're going to be going to this hiking backpack kind of thing soon here in a second. We're not going to be able to get to like bouldering, rock climbing, lake-related goods. I can just tell at the speed of this show. But we're going to go to let's move it on to like snow sports and stuff like that. I want to go into the feed. Whatever happened to Rake and Profit from Ed Podk? Rake and Profit's having internet trouble. I mean, he's traveling the USA. Mostly he has amazing internet. He's here just about every single show. One show he's not here. It's not the biggest. We can understand what's going on. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, it's mostly green rumors. And by the way, guys, while we have you here, 2 things I want from you. One, just like the video, if you're finding some interesting information, or if it's piquing your interest and allowing you to now start searching on, eBay completeds for certain brands or whatever on camping stuff, just remember that camping is one of those things that's embraced on both sides of the USA, right? It's like not just significant to one part of the country. People like to camp all over the USA. So garage sales, estate sales, you're likely to find, in thrift stores, you're likely to find camping items. But in order to decode through the mess, you're going to have to know a couple things, which is our target here on the show, is to help you figure out outdoors goods. So like the video based upon that principle, and if you're learning something. Second thing, take a look down below. If you want 100 amazing items to resell guide, which we as admins created, just go down below and get it for free. A lot of people are on my Periscope, they're like, I love the guide, it's amazing, I have it on my phone when I go garage sailing, it's the best guide. So you can put it to your phone as PDF, you'll get it for free down below. Look at the link right down below. Okay, so let's go to the next thing, snow sports. Skiing, boots, bindings, skis. This is harder stuff to find, but we're going to go over some brands on the ski boots. How many of you guys, okay, Young, when's the last time you hustled a ski boot?
Ski boots? Probably 2 years ago.
Okay, and then Eric, what do you think?
Month and a half ago, I sold one, but I still have a pair that fits me that I'm going to use when we go to Durango.
Not snowboard, but ski.
No, I have a pair of ski boots that I'm going to use when we go to Durango.
Oh, I thought you were going to snowboard when we go to Durango.
I'm going to snowboard. I might ski one day because I'm flying my brother in, and he's probably going to use my snowboard, so I might ski with him. So.
Okay. So yeah, when it comes to the boots, ski boots are a lot different than snowboard boots. First of all, ski boots look like something that like Iron Man would wear, right? It looks just like an Iron Man
futuristic
boot. Yeah, it's futuristic. Usually one big hinge in the middle of the boot with you can see the hinge. It's like this silver thing usually. The more intricate that those boots get, the more intricate it starts looking like it has almost like pistons, right? It starts looking all crazy. I wouldn't get when you start looking at them and they look like they have pistons on them, like little tiny pistons, which that's not what they are, but they're tensioning devices. When it starts looking like that and it's all shiny, it's made by brands such as like Nordico, is it Lance or Lange? And then there's another one called Dalbello. That's really amazing too.
I sold a pair of those last month and a half ago.
Vipers are unbelievable. I've sold 3 of those, I think, to this date. Each one of them sold for over $250. Every single one of them. So yeah, and those are also dealer demo kind of things that I just found. So the Dalbello Vipers, all that kind of stuff. A lot of Nordica is it's pretty easy to find it at thrift stores, but you gotta sift through the junk, and they're always gonna have their little model numbers on the side. You have to make sure that that model is one of the nicer, more wanted models. So that's one of those things. Like even when I find an amazing pair of ski boots in the wild, I always resort to eBay just to do the check, okay? Mm-hmm. I think it's important. To ship them off, it's not any different than shipping off like a pair of hiking boots. They're slightly bigger, so slightly bigger box, not a huge deal. You're going to have to check the clasps because most boots have about 3 to 4 clasps on them, and it looks like a little...
the little ratchet part.
Yeah, it's breaks. Like a ratchet thing, like a little staircase-looking thing. It looks like a tiny little micro
Those
staircase.
will pop off sometimes.
Yep. Those will pop off, they'll break. Sometimes people have bad impacts, and the boot will just shatter in certain places. So you got to check all that kind of stuff. Make sure the inner boot lining was in pretty good condition, not stinky, and you should be okay. The sizing of the boot's what matters the most. Take a look at usually the front or the back of the heel. It'll be stamped there, or if you flip the boot underneath, you'll see it right on the bottom of the sole. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Yeah, 80s ski stuff is basically worthless, so don't mess with that. You want to find the current day ski stuff. Bindings, same thing. Usually when you look at bindings, you're going to find them with skis. Yang, have you ever hustled a pair of skis before?
No, never.
CP, I know you have, right?
I have, but the thing is I get into them either so cheap or I just know nothing about them. But I do know, I mean, I could tell that it's like a more modern ski just because it's like parabolic and just the colors and the way that it looks. Maybe there's some carbon fiber on it or something, but I have, but I'm so bad at knowing like what's a good binding. Like I really don't. I couldn't tell off the bat. I wouldn't have no idea.
They have, it's different. Like sometimes Solomon markers, sometimes you think Marker, what a crappy brand, right? But Marker makes this amazing, they make amazing bindings on their top end, right? Solomon bindings pretty awesome. Solomon skis, X Cream, those kind of things. The skis are one of those. For people like me and maybe CP, we watch things like X Games and we pay attention to certain things, and you see quality, like you just know the style to look for. Freestyle skis look completely different than slalom or downhill. They just look
Which
different.
looks different than cross country skis.
Yeah, exactly. They're completely fatter. They're different. And while we're on cross country skis, those have money in them too. But you have to know what you're looking at, right? And vintage cross country skis, like wood ones with wood poles, amazing for an antique booth, for example. So when it comes to skis, I think for the ones that I've hustled have been all mountain / park and freestyle related. So they're a little fatter than normal, right? And they have these like little bumper things on each end. If you want to take a look at what I've sold 3 pairs of these, but they're called Solomon X Screams. They're yellow ones. I've sold 3 pairs of those back in the day. My last ski flip, I can't remember what it was, but it was something like in October or something. It was a white pair of something. Anyway,
Okay, I'm gonna throw some brands out there. Tell me yes or no if they make modern skis that would sell well. Head.
They do. Roxy
K2.
Yes. K2, yes.
Atomic.
Atomic for sure, yeah.
And Rossignol is another one, right? Yeah, those are just some brands that you might not kind of associate with high quality ski stuff, but they can make some.
They definitely all make really good ski stuff. Atomic is one of the top ones that a lot of the people use, just so you know, on the freestyle circuit. Okay, so we got 106 viewers. Thanks for watching this show. I'm just curious to see how many people like this show. I just want to see who burned a calorie or two.
Burn a calorie. We're talking about outdoor stuff. We're hiking. We're skiing. What else are we doing? We're drinking beer out of Yeti coolers.
Richard, okay, so Body Comp right here says, just downloaded the ebook and I like the video. There you go.
Nice.
So, thank you very much. Hey, if you haven't liked the video, just take 1 second out of your time, mouse pointer down there, and click the like button. Thanks, Richard Head. I really appreciate that. Great show, guys, he says. Okay, so let's go into the snowboarding stuff. I've actually hustled a lot more snowboarding stuff than anything. So, snowboarding stuff comes down to the boots, bindings, and board. Boots, bindings, board. It's different than skis. Skis is boots, bindings, skis. Snowboards are boots, bindings, board. So, the cool thing about snowboarding, what I like, and E-Money has one of these in his house. I'm going to pull this on my Periscope tomorrow. I have to. He's got this vintage Burton that he popped on from a thrift store for like $10. This thing is so beautiful. It's got the flat.
Does it have a flat back?
Yes, it's got the flat back.
Oh, it's got a flat back.
All the neon colors going straight up this damn thing is so pretty, and I don't think maybe I'll just buy it off of him because it's so pretty. It's probably still functional too, but back in the day, you had these big players like K2, Kemper, Sims, and Burton making these boards, and this is back in, I want to say, late '80s maybe. They just decided, let's go down with the hill with a board, strapped to our feet. And I think back then the boards had a rope at the top, right? They had a rope to keep. I don't know what the rope was for, but I know that they held the rope, and it was tied.
It'd probably give you more control over the front.
Yeah, something like that. But either way, that was the first ones, and then they made them with flat backs, which means now if you look at them, they're either directional snowboards, which means, if it's directional, it means like you're going downhill in one way only on the snowboard, right? You can get a twin tip, which is like equal direction from each binding to the end of the board. That's a twin tip. That's more freestyle related. Then you have directional boards, which are a little bit less board in the back for where the binding is, and then a little bit more board towards the front where the front binding is. So it's more directional,
where you're plowing through a POW.
That's right. And by POW, he means powder, just so anyone doesn't know. Okay, so boards. Let's talk about boards, present-day boards, because if you're going to do the vintage stuff, I'm gonna tell you right now, mess with Kemper, mess with Sims, mess with Burton, but they have to almost look like a pointy top with a flat bottom, okay?
And people aren't using those. It's strictly going to be decorations, right?
Yep, it's decoration for people's like log cabins, like all kinds of stuff. So
yeah.
Anyway,
so colors, content.
Yes, colors.
Not necessarily condition. If like something's broken on one side, but the bottom looks amazing. Yeah.
It does not matter. Usually, when something is broken on a vintage board, it's the bindings. Usually, okay. I've never seen a.
So you could overlook that, right? Absolutely.
They can unscrew the bindings and put new bindings, and it's perfectly rideable, and they can be riding the coolest looking thing on the mountain. So just remember that. I'll try to open up a Periscope tomorrow. E-Money is off tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I'll have to ask my boss. I'm just kidding. I work for myself. Okay. But I'll show you that
Funny
board on
joke.
Periscope. It's so cool. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about current day snowboards. Retro aficionado. You go to garage sales a lot in San Jose and all this kind of stuff. You ever popped on a snowboard before? Bindings, everything.
No, no.
Gosh,
Those are
really?
something I don't. Those are stuff I don't normally flip. But I mean, I buy them for myself personally, but I don't flip those.
My favorite flip that you've done for yourself, but then you sold it. So you were cool for a second, then you got uncool. But here's what it is. It was that Trek bike that you popped on, the dual suspension Trek bike. We're gonna go off subject for 1 second here, but Yang found this really amazing bike for like, was it 1,300? How much was this thing? 1,400? How much?
1,200.
1,200. Trek Fuel, was it?
Oh, I can't remember now. It was
Anyway, your
yeah.
size, 29er, awesome component. Well, pretty good components, but I would say upper mid-grade components. And you ride it for a little bit, but then you sell it, right?
I sold it.
How much? 2 grand? 1,800?
Was it 1,800? Yeah, it was 1,800.
1,800. Anyway, that's when you became uncool. Was that day? Anyway, so I was pretty impressed. That's like a really good deal to find. And so like he found one, put it in the green room. It was pretty cool. This was like a year and a half ago, I want to say, when the green room first started out. Okay, so the snowboards, when it comes to current day snowboards, this is where it gets a little bit more tricky because now you're dealing with twin tips, directionals, composition of the core of the snowboard. Is it a bamboo core? Is it this core, centered this and that base?
The shape.
Yep, the shape. You're dealing with brands. You're dealing with, okay, so let's just talk about the really good brands that you want to be looking for now. Never Summer is a really good one. Burton, very good brand. Never Summer, very good brand. Ride, very good brand. K2, still a really good brand. Rossignol, okay, pretty good, yeah. What's another brand that Arbor? Arbor's real good, not bad. So you want to be looking at that kind of stuff. The more, these days, like, there's so many different graphics on the boards, like it's so different. But if you want to find the brand of the board, a lot of times it's in the middle between the two bindings. Board over, a lot of times you can see what the brand is, but it might be hard to read because sometimes these graphics get kind of crazy and like almost graffiti-ish, right? It's sometimes tough to read through the graphics, like what is it trying to tell me. But what would you say your top pick CP on a board? Burton or Never Summer? What do you think? Top pick.
I have a Never Summer now, but I like the GNU Skate Bananas.
Oh yeah, GNU. That's right. There's one right there.
Are they GNU? I always say GNU.
GNU. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They make a lot of more park boards, don't they?
I've never ridden them. They're just too expensive, and I never found one cheap enough to where I always see the new ones like they're $500. I just haven't popped.
Okay. Now, if you find, what I like to do with snowboards, and this is you can find them in the thrift stores here and there. Sometimes they're $10 and below, but there are gonna be a lot of crappy ones, right? Crappy Moros, and you know, when Sims got really crappy, then you don't want a crappy Sims board. There's so many bad ones. It's like, I'm trying to think, what's another one? Ozone, I want to say. There's some really terrible brands out there that you just, some nitros are okay, but there's some really terrible ones. You don't want to be messing around with those. You want to be messing around with the ones that, if you look at the side of it, the more layered it looks, like the more it looks like, how do I explain this? Almost like a Neapolitan ice cream. If you can look to the side and you can see like definite layers of stuff and center this and that, that's kind of like the first like indication. If you can see on the board where it tells you the what's it called, the length of the board, right? The brand of the board, the model of the board, the length of the board, those are very important things. And then if they brag about what the core is, that's pretty important too, because no brand that's crappy will brag about what the core is made out of. But if they brag about what the core is, then get interested. Like if it says Bamboo this or Superfly 2 that, if they say core, Bamboo core, Superfly 2 core, this and that core, that's when you can start looking and getting excited. Now, if you find moving sales, garage sales that are people are like moving, jetting town from like a cold climate to a warm climate, it's a pretty good chance to get some really good stuff at cheap prices, but you know, play accordingly. And the only weird thing about snowboards is that the models, there's so many models, right? there's like 5 billion models. They call it something different. It could be the exact same board, but they'll just call it something different and a year later, just to keep it fresh again and all that kind of stuff. So the ones that I would definitely really get excited, if you can go to your Craigslist right now and look up Burton Custom or Burton Custom X, those are boards that have been there for a decade now, right, CP?
Customs aren't they like the premier diamond class of a Burton, right?
It's close. Yeah, there's like one above it, but like the Burton Customs are pretty much it. I mean, the Burton Custom X, I mean, those are really, really good boards. Hard to find in the wild, although I say that and I found 2 in the past year or so. I found them both at Goodwills as well. So,
Yes.
yeah, I know, that's crazy. But take a look at that, and those are the brands we want you to look at. So GNU, Ride, Burton, some Rossignol, Never Summer, Arbor. There you go.
You're going to want to look for the size on there. It might say like a 148, 142, something like that, 156. There will be a number, usually a 3-digit number, somewhere on the board, inside the graphic or stamped on it somewhere, and that's what you're going to use. That's the length in centimeters. So when you're listing or trying to sell this board, people need to know the size.
That's right. And then if you type in that board into Google, you'll figure out if it's twin tip or directional. Likely it's going to be directional because it's really hard to find a true twin tip these days, but still. You know, a twin tip basically means like more for like half pipes and like sliders and this and that. That way the person can go any way they want down the mountain on the board. They can rotate and they'll still be going down the same equal distance on the board. Anyway, it's hard to explain, but hopefully you'll figure it out. So here's a pen. I'll just explain it really quick. If this is the Snowboard, all right, this would be a twin tip, right? The person is standing directly in the middle of the board. There's equal amount of distance here and there, right there. That's a twin tip board, right? It can go down the mountain this way or that way. The person will be the same. There's the same amount of board going down the mountain either direction. Now, if you get a directional board, it's likely like you're going to be sitting back here a little bit, right? There's a little bit more front of the board as opposed to the back, and this is where you'll be standing like that, okay? So that way you only go down the mountain this way. If you were to try to go down the mountain the other way, it wouldn't work out. There's more board up here now, see? So that's what a directional board is. Okay, so there we go. Let's talk about the next thing. Bindings. Bindings are the same thing, same brands. Really good bindings are Ride and Burton are like some of the best ones you'll find. There's so many different ones. So bindings, when they have cap straps, I want to call them. Do you know what a cap strap is, CP or Young?
Yes, it goes to the it goes over your toe in the front instead of like over your foot on the top.
That's right. So you start seeing things with cap straps or bindings with cap straps, start getting excited. When you start seeing bindings with cap straps with really wild colors and a lot more chrome accents, really get excited, or gold accents, really get excited, because now you're probably looking at binding that's like $80 or more in resale. So I won't tell. There's so many brands of bindings to look for and so many models of the brands. So I would say start you looking with just the cap strap portion, which it looks like the front of a shoe, right, is on the board. Rather than having 2 actual straps go over your feet, you have one primary strap, which is the big fat one. You have one other strap which goes over, but it actually comes down the front of your foot, okay? In fact, let me get a pair of boots right here. This is not a snowboard boot, but a cap strap. Here's some really cool boots. Check this out. These are made in Guatemala custom boots. I don't know if I'm going to sell them or not. They're really weird looking, and I really want to wear them. But anyway, the cap strap will go like right here, okay? It'll be this entire portion as a strap, all right? So that's what it's a cap over your entire like front of your foot, like right there. And then the other one will be like right here, right there. So look for cap straps. Really good sign. Cool.
Bindings are highly, or way more likely to be broken than boards also.
Absolutely. That's a great point, because when you look at a binding, the most broken part of a binding, guys, is going to be usually
the ratchet strap.
The ratchet strap or the heel, which is, there's a term for the back part. It's not the back plate. It's called something else. It's
where you choose the pitch.
Yes,
there's like
choose the pitch. Sometimes the pitch mount is broken, but there's a name for a high back. It's called a high back. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
So yeah, the high back will be snapped or broken. Usually it's intact, like it's a hinge, right? The high back is like this part. It hits the back of your ankle or the back of your leg, your ankle, whatever, and then you put your foot in this way, right? So the high back can go like this or like that, depending on how much lean forward you want on the board, how much control. Well, sometimes the high back of the binding is broken. Somewhere around this one area, you'll see some snapped parts. Usually never the high back will be broken off. It'll be on there, but pay attention to that top part of the high back because it's important. In a high back, if you want to ship it, you just fold it down and then you put the straps over the high back and it gets all compact. So there we go. There's that. Let's talk about the last thing, which is boy, this is a very big topic, but
This is like 3 shows.
I know. It is. We're going to bypass the next one, which is snow gar. Well, we can go through snow. Let's bypass snow garments. Let's get a little bit into hiking before we can cut the show off, because that seems to be something that everyone wants to talk about. It's also one of the parts that, if we talk about it, you're likely to find it and get educated based on that. There's so many more warmer hikes and warmer climates in America that you're more likely to see a hiking boot, right, at a thrift store rather than a snow jacket or a parka. Okay. Young.
Yep.
When you go hiking or when you go camping, or maybe both, maybe you go hiking to camp somewhere, do you use low cuts or high cuts? Like, are you using actual hiking boots, or are you using low cut hikers?
I made a
using trail
mistake.
shoes?
I made the mistake of doing low cuts, and then I broke my foot, and then I went high tops.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's rewind real quick. Take us back to was the low cut the reason why you broke it was because you had too much like articulation in your ankle?
Well, I mean,
Too much beer. He was carrying too much weight.
I had a lot of gear, and plus, we were off trail. There was a lot of rocks and stuff, so that didn't help either. But yes, ever since then, I'm doing high tops now.
Okay, so yeah, the high tops will definitely help you a little bit on having less like movement, usually side to side. But the boots that you want to look for with higher, we call them actual hiking boots, right? This is the brands that you really want to look for. Okay, it's going to be Azzolo. Give me one CP.
Vask.
Yep, Vask, Azzolo. Young, feel free to chime in when you want.
Marmot.
Marmot.
And then what else?
Marmot doesn't make shoes.
I don't think. Wait,
because I had a pair. I had a low top. Those are the ones that I wore when I broke my damn foot.
are you sure they weren't Merrell?
Yeah,
No.
they were probably Merrill.
No, it wasn't Merrill.
Okay. Okay, so we have Azzolo, Vask. Here's one that you probably won't find, but you might. Zamberlan. Okay. Zamberlan's pretty good. I found it a couple times. You're going to want to look for Merrell. Merrell's pretty good. Merrell also uses Gore-Tex and Super Dry, whatever they call it. Solomon is really good. Solomon currently doesn't have a hiking boot that's like on par with, let's say, the upper class like Vask ones, or the Azzolos, the full-blown Azzolo TPS 520, or the Zamberlan Vios. They don't have a full leather boot yet.
You know what? It wasn't. No, you guys are right. It wasn't. It was oh gosh darn it! It was Garment. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
Garmont.
Yeah, Garment. Jeez, yeah. It was
Garmont, Marmont.
Garmont's good. Garmont's not bad. I'll tell you one that kind of it doesn't elude me because I've hustled this once, maybe even twice. Scarpa, pretty interesting brand. Scarpa shoes are pretty awesome sells if you can get them. But those are more like low cut. So we're talking about still high hiking boots here, the ones with eyelets, the ones that you route the laces in an X form up your leg. North Face is okay. I like some North Face. Vask, yes. The ones about the Solomons, right? The Solomons, you're going to want to look for the XA Ultra Mid. XA Ultra 2 Mid is a pretty good one. It's more like light duty, though. If you really try to like hike in it, it's not as strong as some of the other ones. The one that really put Solomon on the map is one called like an XA, what is it called? It's a Quest 4D GTX. That's what it's called. So they have this black shoe. You can look this up on eBay right now. You might as well just look this up because you might find this out there. Solomon Quest 4D GTX in black, all black. It's their Bin Laden shoe. It's the one that was used in the Bin Laden raid. All the SEAL teams.
So it's like more like a military boot, hiking boot.
Yes, but they still make Quest 4D GTX in normal hiking standards. It's the most expensive boot that Solomon makes outside of their like Speedcross.
Are they the Quest Forces?
No, it's called Quest 4D GTX. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Quest
4D GTX Force?
Yeah, but there's like so many ones of them. But if you look at the pure black ones, those are like usually 175 and above on eBay.
Is that what you're looking at right here?
Yeah, that's it right there, man.
Cool.
That's the Force, I guess, is the military version of it.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. There's something to look for right there. But Solomon makes pretty good, I would say, light-duty hiking boots, but very comfortable. I would say way more comfortable than a Zamberlan or a Zolo or any of those kind of things. They're just more comfortable. But when it comes to abuse, their sole isn't as thick as the sole on a Zamberlan, a Zolo, or a Vask, right? The upper-class Vask ones. So there you go on that. Low-cut hikers, you're going to want to look. The most popular one out there that everyone messes with, what you're likely to see,
Merrill.
is a Merrill. That's right. The Merrill Continuum is everywhere you go. Like, this shoe is everywhere. It's a Gore-Tex. If you could find the one with a Gore-Tex, it's the ugliest. I think it's one of the ugliest shoes ever. And likely someone here in the feed is going to have it. But yeah, I think it's such an ugly boot. But it's a low-cut hiker. I would say for day trips, maybe 2, 3, 4 day. But when you start going into like the bigger hikes and everything like that, you need something very, very stout. So that's where you would go with the other high top ones, you know. That one is the one you'll see in the thrift stores a lot. It's tough to find that one in nubs on nubs condition because it seems to always be used. It's a very popular shoe. So you have that. You have Garmont, which is a good brand for low-cut hikers. Solomon XA3D Ultra 2s are really amazing, or GTX XA3D Ultra 2 GTX is really awesome. I just sold a pair of Solomon XA3D Ultra 2 10.5 for $65 yesterday. Picked them up for $10, so there you go.
What is he?
I completely forgot I had my snowboard in the car. That would have been a great demonstration for the bindings.
Here's a good one that we forgot on the high ones. Danner High King.
Oh, Danners.
We missed that. We missed it. But yeah,
How did we
Danner's
forget Danners?
That's a hard to find one right there.
Danners makes really good vintage stuff.
And Danner makes a lot of hunting
Modern stuff.
Yeah, modern hunting boots and hiking boots. So Danner is really good too. But the Merrill ones, yeah, the low cuts. Did we forget anything?
Would you mess with some amphibious Keens because they kind of dominate the amphibious market?
The amphibious Keens, refresh my memory on those. Oh yeah, those things. You mean the sports
It's a low
sandals?
I mean, it's not necessarily a sandal. It's more like a hiking shoe that can get amphibious. Let me pull up a picture.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Keens do okay. You can definitely wear socks with them. Here's a couple of they're more amphibious and more sandal-like shoes, if you can see that. But Keens do okay.
Is it just on me this entire time, or can you guys see CP talking and all that kind of stuff, or not?
I can.
Okay, so when he talks, is his like profile showing and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because that. Okay, so when I talk right now, we're not looking at CP, right? We're looking at me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure because I just have CP on mine. I don't know why.
You can click on Yang, it will make Yang big. Click on you, it will make you big. Click off, and it will make whoever's talking.
Okay, I figured. Oh, jeez. Okay, so that was a nightmare.
And then wear some Ozark Trails, and you'll get some flappers.
Okay. So that'll hopefully help you guys out with the low-cut hikers. And then when it comes to sports sandals, yes, the Keens are really good. You're going to want to look at Z2, Z1, not Keens, but Chacos, Chaco Uniweeps, Z1, Z2, sports sandals. I think when it comes to sports sandals, I don't think anything beats Chacos. I mean, maybe Keens, but those are closed toe. Those are more like having a cap strap on your sandal, right? It's more like a shoe, really. But Young, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about those Chacos with the toe loops?
Yeah. I just sourced a bunch the other day.
I have 4 in my garage right now that haven't sold. They're really good and they're amazing condition. I'm just like, why are these not selling?
I'm actually sending mine into FBA. I can go grab a pair if you want.
Oh, okay. Well, 2 of mine are
the most hardy, durable, well-built, foot-freeing sandal.
They take forever to break in, though. Forever. But anyway, this is all resale talk, so look up Z1, Z2 Yampa or Z1, Z2 Uniweep and look at what we're talking about. The more hiking the undersole will look, the higher the resale of the sandal will be when it comes to the actual Chaco sandals. Yes, and these are Vibram undersoles at these sandals. Okay, let's talk about, we're going to get through one more thing, okay? And instead of talking about hip packs, we're going to talk about hiking backpacks. Because I know Young, CP, all of us, we know about this stuff. So, CP, kick it off. When it comes to hiking backpacks, we're usually talking about what style of hiking backpack?
Internal frame hiking backpacks, for the most part, is the kind of industry standard. There are some old school people that will buy the external frame bags just because of the breathability and packability on the outside of an external frame bag, but for most part, it's going to be the internal frame bags.
Yep, internal frame bags basically means like you cannot see the frame. You'll be able to feel it. If you try to bend the backpack in half, you won't be able to. As a frame, internally, right? Nowadays, because people, hike with these things for days, right? Days on end. A lot of the ones that are 40 liters or above, and the liters are one of the main ways you're going to want to sell this thing, because just like the snowboard, the centimeters you have to discuss, like, okay, it's this long, it's 162 centimeters or 148. With a backpack, it's a little different. You're going to need two things, and those two things are you're going to need the liters, and you're going to need the size of the backpack. With the size is usually around, usually where the hip is, the little hip strap, it's going to be around there in a tiny little micro tag. You might see
it could be a little itty bitty tag.
It's small, man. It's so small. Like if you're not.
Dude, I have so many bags at the house. I should have brought some. This is this would be such a good hands-on, like a demonstration in Austin or something, like where people can touch it and see it and be like, wow, that's a really nice seam. That's a really nice zipper. You could just tell. It's hard to do it like through us talking, but.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, you're going to want those two things, okay? Assuming the rest of the backpack checks out, the backpack's likely to be somewhere between the vicinity of 40 and I would say 90 liters, okay? So 90 liters is pretty big. We're talking a really big trip. You're going to take a lot of gear with you. 40 is more like a couple days, maybe a day out, day in kind of thing. You sleep somewhere. The packs you want to be looking for, Osprey is really good. I own an Osprey. Osprey is known for their air core technology, which has a space between the back and where the pack's a little net.
Let's see if we can get the Osprey logo on here. I don't think my light's gonna show it up. I'll pull it up on my iPad. I have a little Osprey day bag that I use.
Yes, I have 5 billion Osprey things as well, and they make amazing products. And if you find one out there in the wild and it's messed up, you can return it to Osprey and look at your brand new one. Anyway, so we should have hands-on training at the Austin meetup. Timothy Grapp, maybe we will. I got something.
There's the Osprey logo. Beautiful Osprey logo.
Yep, there it is. I see it. Okay, so the Osprey logo, we all saw that. You want to look for Osprey, another brand that's extremely amazing. Probably not going to find it, but I say that, and I've found 3 in my lifetime. Emerson found one 3 months ago on a ride-along. Gregory, okay? Gregory is an amazing brand as well. Kelty's really good. Kelty's amazing. Certain North Face Summit Series backpacks, pretty awesome, or their A5 series, pretty awesome.
This is the new Gregory logo.
Yep.
And they also made vintage stuff. Their vintage stuff is okay. I think that might be the vintage logo.
The vintage one was the first one you had.
No, that's the modern one, dude. I have a Gregory bag at the house. I'm positive. This is the modern logo.
I've hustled ones with only that logo, and they have done amazingly well.
That's the modern logo. Maybe that. Yeah, this is the. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I guess it would still be vintage. 1994 to 2014, and then 1984 to 93, and then 1977 to 83. There we go.
So I was right. So I guess it's not vintage, but it's retro.
It's not vintage. Well, if you hit the 94 and the 95, it's vintage. But most likely it's more of a modern bag, like a modern logo.
Silver Hair Stacker says Arc'teryx. Oh, yeah, if you can find anything.
Yeah, I've found an Arc'teryx bag before. Great bag, great brand.
The only Arc'teryx that I find that I don't really have much resale are these little tiny little micro bags that like an iPad can go in. I don't like getting those. And those I find every now and then. Same with Osprey. I find those every now and then. Sometimes they're even stamped up with like companies' logos like on top of it. I don't like those as much. They don't have that great of resale.
You can't even see it. It's so awful.
But there's the Arc'teryx logo.
That's not the logo. That's just the tag.
Okay.
But the logo is like the little bird. You can't really see it on this jacket. It's really dark.
I thought Arc'teryx was the lizard-looking dude.
Yeah, it's like a dead. No, it's a dead fossil bird.
Oh, okay.
An Archaeopteryx.
Okay.
It's like a dead Archaeopteryx fossil. It's like that.
Okay. Stacy Staggs, let's add one more. Dana Design, yes. Dana Design is another amazing one as well, if you can find them.
You
Very hard
can't
to find them.
discredit JanSport. Like
Certain Jans.
That's more for day bikes, though, right?
JanSport and North Face are sister companies, and they make some pretty okay bags.
They make okay bags, and we're talking about things that'll take you out into the elements and back.
JanSport has high-end bags that do that. You don't see people wearing them because they can buy Gregory's, but they do have them.
Yeah.
I thought JanSport was more for like day hikes, no?
JanSport's more for like going to elementary school.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, dude.
But they do make higher-end stuff. Just not a lot of people wear it, and you're probably not going to find it. But just keep. I mean, I have a JanSport bag in my closet. It's okay. It's more of a light. I want to say it's more of a ultra light bag, because it doesn't even have a heavy frame or anything. It's way lighter.
If you want to go with like light bags, I mean, you can throw in Patagonia.
Patagonia makes really good.
There's some other ones.
You can go into like Patagonias. You can go into some REIs. REI is re-releasing all of their vintage line back out again. It's so cool. I picked up one of their bags the other day. And then, yeah, you're right. You can do Patagonia. You can go. Osprey has a line that's way less than all that. They have all kinds of stuff. They have bladder backpacks. They have everything. You can go Camelback. They make some really cool trekking packs. There's a bunch of them. This person, Julie Johnson, says, I have an Arc'teryx Boron 90. Whoa. My gosh. That's a big pack. A 90, dude. That's a big one.
Okay. The JanSport $310 Tahoma 90, Tahoma 75 liter. Like that's up there with the big boys. It's a $310 backpack on their website. So
that's a cool one.
CP, tell us about JanSport and their return policy. What do you know about this?
They are awesome on their return policy. If it's broken or it's just like completely messed up, they will replace it for you for free. You just have to mail them the bag and fill out the form. But that's why I'm saying JanSport takes care of their customers. So. Okay.
Cool. And I think we're going to have to cut. So here's where we didn't get to on the show, guys, by the way.
No, we didn't get to so much.
We didn't get to so much. But we didn't get to hiking pants, which is crazy because that's a fun one. Hip packs, which are like fanny packs, but big ones. We didn't get to bouldering, rock climbing. We didn't get to anything lake-related outdoor stuff, boat and marine products, tubes, wakeboards, vintage wood skis, wake skates, wake surfboards, stand-up paddleboards, kayaks, canoes. We didn't get to any of that. That sucks.
Or paintball, or airsoft, or hunting gear, or duck boots, or snow garments. Next time, you'll have to stay tuned.
Next show, and this next show could be an internal show. I'm not 100% sure. If we do an internal show, I will try to put all kinds of cool garments here in this room so you can see and check out. I will take that suggestion to have a hands-on kind of thing, maybe in Austin when everyone gets there. But yeah, we didn't get to a lot today, so there's going to be a part 2 for sure. I don't know if it's going to be an internal green room show or not. There's also going to be a part 3 where we talk about fishing, fly fishing, tackle boxes, lures, baits, and then, not bait, but like lures, and then hunting as well. Hunting, airsoft, and paintball. So that's going to be that's like a part 3. So we got a lot to cover. We got a lot of things to do. So this is pretty much part 1. We'll figure out if part 2 is going to be in the room or not, or maybe it'll be here. We don't know. If you did like this show and you learned a little bit, okay, make sure you hit the like button down below. While we still have you here watching us, don't forget to pick up our free guide. Okay, that's down below as well. And when you get that free guide, it's a PDF. I want you to store it in your phone and start reviewing it when you are bored. If you are in line at a grocery store and you're bored, start looking at the list. If you are at the DMV and you look at your number and it's like 78 and you realize that they're only at like number 20, then read the guide. But either way, get the guide on your phone. It's really important so that way you can look at it on your off times. The last thing I want to let you guys know about is we will have a show next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m., and likely there's going to be also a private Green Room Solomon video coming in next week because there's about 9 pairs of shoes, maybe 8 pairs, and we need to show you guys this stuff before it gets sold. So I'll be editing that video and putting it in the room. Exclusive Green Room content. But thanks for watching the show. We got a lot of thumbs up. That was cool. Thumbs up, thumbs up. We really appreciate you guys coming by. Yang, you got anything you want to say to the crowd out there?
No, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, man. We love doing these shows.
And CP, you want to close it out?
I will see you guys in Austin.
That's your closeout. Okay, that looks good to me, man. We will see you on the next Green Room Hangout. Thanks a lot, and we'll have the full cast on next week. Take it easy.